Hello, good morning guys. Welcome to another June day here in Cebu. And currently we're here in Urgello Street. And yeah, we're just go out there to Osmeña Boulevard and head to our destination. So, how are you guys doing? So the weather has been really good in the past couple of days. I mean, I thought it was rainy season already, and suddenly, sige na si Tiag. And it's like summer feels na sad. So I think, yeah, in the next few days, especially this weekend, pwede kayo lamig kayo beach. And which is akuan, di ba? Which is one of the luxuries sa mga taga Cebu na pwede, the beach is just a few kilometers away. So muna guys, so today we're gonna talk about sports na sad, yapon. Let's have a sports talk, and we're gonna talk about basketball because we just recently the Philippines beat Korea in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, and now we qualify to the FIBA Asia Cup. I think that's next year in Jakarta, Indonesia. So we beat Korea. I mean, the funny thing is our team is composed of puro non-PBA players. So wala ang the old stars of Gilas like Junmar Pajardo, mga Gabe Norwood. No, they weren't there. They're absent from this team because this team is really mga cadets kunuhay na to. It's, I think most of them or all of them is 23 and under. So imagine 23 and under team na to competing with with the big boys of Korea. And I think Korea also were sending sa their young guns, but a mix of veterans and their it's ilang naturalized player was a former PBA import. So yun na ligon kay Korea. I mean, Korea, I was I mean, if you were looking at the odds, I think sa pusta pa mas pabor to sa Korea, but magical things happen in the court. And after 8 years, I think the last time we beat Korea was 8 years, or I think more or less was 8 years. That's 7 years, I think. 2013, 8 years. Yeah, that's the World Cup qualifiers held in SM Mall of Asia at that time, and that was the first time in a long while na qualify ang Philippines sa FIBA Asia. I mean sa World Cup. And at that time, the hero was Jimmy Alapag, of course, the Mighty Mouse, and napaditos Mark Pingris, and then I think Andre Blatch na tong import na to itong naturalized player. Then it was really a big moment in Philippine basketball, especially for this century. But this time ang atong cadets naman tried to replicate what they did, and they did. Na kayo, believe kita because for one, si matuloy 23 and under sila, no PBA player, although na mga PBA draftees, but yeah, these are the cadets. So mga bata ni made of many Ateneo players, because I think Dwight Ramos, kaning ilang sa saliganan lang. That's Dwight Ramos, who studied in the States, but I think mag one and done ta siya sa Ateneo. And yes, he's part of the Ateneo lineup gihapon si, tapos ilang natural players, Angel Kwame, who is also another player of Ateneo. Then the hero of the game, tanawa lang sa YouTube ang mga highlights. It's SJ Blangel. So why not remember that name also. But there's also, of course, si Kai Soto, by the way. It's like his senior's debut as well. Our 7-3 or 7-4, beanpole. It's 19 years old, teenager paghapon. Made his national team, senior's debut. And I think he did well. I mean, kahit pa paano, he showed his moves. Even if okay na siya nakapractice with the Gilas, even in the game, it's really, especially now na grabe na ka-guard oriented. But you see Kai Soto, running up and down the court, shooting jump shots, showing off his, mobility as a big man, na siya dribbling skills like na maka cross over gani, and then yung hook shot, so ito sa kuan. I mean, somehow Kai was able to display or show off his skills learned while training in the States, and what training with a G League Ignite, although it was wala gito muragtog na dayon yung G League Ignite, murabag na stunted because I think a lot of things happened, of course, and many weren't expecting him to give to have playing time, especially like now na the game is so guard oriented na, especially kana sa G League, for example, people like Jalen Green na nasa na Filipino na dugo would dominate because they get the ball and then they just they can shoot three, they're allowed to create. Na marabagwa na kay mga big man player on. So I think lisod kaayo, but the good thing kahit papano si Kai has moved on from that episode of his life. Now he signed up with Adelaide 36ers sa Australia, National Basketball League. Hopefully he'll do well there, but now he has shown he can run with the big boys. So moto na kahit papano he scored around 11 points, grabbed 7 rebounds. So it's a start, and he had a block even. So the future is, if you look at it today lang, after that victory, you can say that the future of Philippine basketball is somehow bright. Naghantag mga up and coming stars, especially tanaw na nimo kanang Gilas na lineup. And of course, kapailaing big man si Carl Tamayo, who will be playing for University of the Philippines Maroons, UP Maroons, na who also made a good account of himself. So and of course ito mga veterans na quote unquote, silang Mike Nieto, silang Isaac Go, they were it was really it's kahit paano ilang performance was quite satisfactory, I would say. There's a lot of room for improvement. Itong masulti lang. And lingaw gid kay na duwa. I mean, I thought nalubos na nalubong to sila na tinunga ang score. I think around 33-16 ba. So layo kay Bia. So they were down 17 points down. And then one of the spark plugs, by the way, is also another napadung pa mag-college, si RJ Avarientos, na who never wala pa siya nagka-play even one game in his college career due to the pandemic. But kanang apelyido Avarientos, it's always legendary na because of Johnny Avarientos. But RJ, I think, did quite grabe sa diyang damage, especially when he was inserted in the end part of the first half, where he, kahit pa paano, he orchestrated, he created, he wreaked havoc, I would say. He sped up the game and he scored. He showed that, aside pa paano he was the one who showed them who we can score against this Korean team. We have to persist. Kaya nila ito ilang depensa, which was really good. Maayo gilang Korea, so it was disciplined. They have stars and also ng mga up-and-comers nila katong Cebu katong who's playing for, I think, Gonzaga or USNCA nagduwa. Imagine nasa mga USNCA players so we expect po Asian basketball is kahit pa paano we are on the rise, and hopefully yes, we can see more Asians making it to the NBA. Ang Japan is like Watanabe o Hachimura, so hopefully Kai would be the first. Pero there should be the basketball program should be calibrated also to help more Filipinos succeed abroad, because I think because ang PBA usay they're so protective of our local talents na di nila palargahon abroad, which wouldn't be I think it will somehow slow down the development of basketball or improvement of our players. So the players, we can let go of our best players and develop new stars. I think it's possible gihapon, diba? So we won Korea at a buzzer beater that was like 2 so less than 3 seconds left, 2.6 seconds. Dwight Ramos passed it in a tied ball game, passed it to SJ Bilangel, who flexible shot, flexible. It was like kuan gid ba ang iyang release. It was really an awkward one, because he was guarded by a 6'6" guy, and SJ is just like 5'10", the smallest player in our team, but probably the gutsiest. And yes, he called he hit the bank shot at the buzzer to end the game, to give a heartache to Korea. Well, in the past we're the ones crying. I remember, I think 1998 Asian Games, silang Rosella, silang Hontiveros, hilak sila doon, because yes, we lost at the buzzer beater. So now we won with a buzzer beater. So tabla-tabla ra. And of course, yes, basketball yun lang rule karon sa TV sad, because the NBA season is coming to a close na the playoffs, and ang na-observe lang yun, yes, there's so many superstar injuries that's affecting the playoffs, or making the outcome so unpredictable. I think most of the teams na nabilin, or even katong nga out, like silang Lakers, had major injuries sa ilang stars, and then LeBron is blaming the NBA schedule kay ngano kuno gipugos yung abri ang NBA na nakakuan. Why did they force to start the season with just a few weeks of rest, especially for the champions, ha? So marabag tan-aw niya na it was a factor in the injuries of the players. So I don't know, pwede man sad, but unlike karon man good sad that time, I would say na mas kuan, I think mas prone ang kuan kay athletic na kay mga tao. The game is so fast that injuries are bound to happen kay when you push your body to the limit. Kasi kani sa mga athletes na to, they train so hard, you know, to keep up, especially kani mga bata like Doncic, mga Trey Young, mga kuan kay ba, even like mga Donovan Mitchell, those are bata pa na kuan kay mga kusog kay na player. So I think to keep up, people train, people overexert, and yeah, injuries happen na noon paghuman. But mga na, so many injuries that like affected the play of Anthony Davis, kasagaran ng mga tigwa. Kawhi Leonard will miss a lot of games. The Brooklyn Nets na nasa big three na Durant, Irving, and Harden all missed games, and Harden ipugos ito niya balik sa game 5 and day 1, and today's game 6 by the way. So mana say even Irving is out, so marabag, yeah, maybe on schedule, but most of them but unlike in the past, masagod na mana kusuging duwa ron, but unlike in the past, na naman sa yung mga mitigating measures ron, like may load management, papahoyo ng player, minutes restriction, pero malagi that's the new reality. I mean, yes, the normally the healthiest team will win the title, because apil na sa swerte, apil na sa luck, apil na sa, you know, the factors that could ruin your kwan. Pero mana injuries are kwan yun important, so that's why we need to protect ourselves, you know, take care of ourselves, diba, para dito mag-suffer og injury. Importante yun kaya na even sa mga normal na tao, I mean, kung normal na trabaho, normal tao, we have to take care of ourselves, diba? Dito ay pugsa ko sa atong puhunan yun, atong lawas, so let's take care of it. Tomorrow na, because I'm here already at the Virginia Farms, Virginia Fork Shop. Dito tang palit og karne karong adlaw, and thank you so much, Tempa. Before na mo go, muhayo ko ninyo kasi para makita mo na ako. So hi guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you na sa puan sa itong sunod ng mga biyahe. Salamat sa pagkuyog na to ani na biyahe, and hopefully puhon magkita-kita kita. And kung makitaan ko ninyo sa dalan, hey, don't forget to say hi, diba? I hope to see you na sa puhon sa sunod ng mga laag ug biyahe. Take care of yourself, stay safe, o kung wala pa mo nagpabakuna, pa-vaccinate na mo, especially katong mga taga Cebu or taga Pilipinas, kay dagan ang diganhan magpa-vaccine. Pero kinahanglan nato magpa-vaccine oy, para naman lang sa atong protection o protection sa uban natong mga kakuyog, di ba? Tinabangay lang, and see you na sa sunod ng biyahe. Bye bye bye.